What are SSRI drugs?
Okay. That's the abbreviation for selective serotonin reuptake pump inhibitors, SSRI.
Whoa, that's a mouthful.
Mouthful. So SSRI is kind of a easy way to explain something that we doctors don't understand.
Great, okay.
So we get this propaganda from the drug industry representatives who come and give us samples and wine and dine us and don't tell us.
Really?
Yeah, that's right. And
Okay.
they don't tell us everything that we should know about using these very dangerous and addicting medications that alter the brain. If I had audiovisual aids here, this is a 3-hour lecture that I'm trying to summarize here. But those are chemical structures, chemical small molecules that are able to get into the brain and into the cerebrospinal fluid, and then they alter what happens at the synapse, which is where everything happens. The connection between two nerves is where these things work. They disable the reuptake pump, which is a pore that sucks for instance, serotonin, in the case of serotonin reuptake pump inhibitors, back in to be recycled. Well, when the drug is in the brain, it prevents the serotonin from being recycled, meaning it's going to deplete it eventually, while it's overstimulating the receiving nerve from this other serotonin nerve. You can see why I could use a diagram here.
Right, but you're getting more serotonin when you take
Only
the drug?
you're getting more serotonin only in the synapse.
Okay.
But because serotonin gets not 100%, but close to 100% recycling, it gets used over and over and over again. When you're on the Prozac or the Zoloft or the Paxil or the Celex or the Luvox, you're not getting that recycling effect. So temporarily, you're getting more serotonin impulses on the receiving nerve. So you feel better for a while, but then because the serotonin gets eventually deficient, and it knocks off some of the receptor sites. Again, this is more easy to understand with the diagram. You're altering the brain at least long term, maybe permanently in some cases, but at least long term. So there are fewer receptor sites. You're getting depleted, running on empty on serotonin, which only comes from food, by the way. The only way to raise serotonin in the brain is to take a nutrient called tryptophan or 5-hydroxytryptophan. There's only 2 ways to actually raise total brain serotonin. The SSRIs only increase it in the synapse level, and that's temporary, with a lot of damage being done. So that's why there's the Prozac poop out concept. All those drugs poop out. They stop working after a month or so. And so then you have to raise the dose. And now you're getting even more aggravation, maybe a little more effect, but again, that's temporary. So,
but isn't that the typical pattern with all drugs, whether they're legal or illegal, that you have to take more to get the effect?
That's right. Yeah, that's true. And that's, they call that tolerance. The psychiatric term is tolerance. It works for a while, and then your body gets tolerant to it, and you lose its effect.
So you develop a tolerance for these drugs?
Yeah, so you have to increase the dose. And then if you try to quit, your brain now is dependent. That's where the dependency term comes. Your brain is dependent on the drug, and now you're going through withdrawal. You're craving, or something's wrong, and the only cure is to take another hit. So if you're a cocaine addict and you run out your supply, you're anxious. You're searching everywhere for a dealer to get some more cocaine, or if it's Ritalin, which is the same as cocaine, molecular structure-wise, you're wanting to get another prescription or go to the street. And if you're a Zoloft user and you run out of your Zoloft, and you're frantic to get another dose because you're withdrawing within a day or 2 or 3 of some of these medications. So yes, they are addicting. Everybody, if they take it for a short time, or if it's a low dose, or you're well nourished perhaps, and not on any other drugs, maybe you can take it for a few weeks or a few months and then quit cold turkey without a lot of withdrawal symptoms. But when you've been on it for a long time, or in high dose, or in multiple medications, it's highly likely that you're going to have terrible withdrawal symptoms that may make it impossible for you to get off, or very difficult to get off without going crazy from the withdrawal. We all know the picture of the heroin addict that they throw in a padded cell, and he just sweats and he vomits and he has pain and he's just miserable. And then he eventually, may get a little bit better, but he probably hasn't. That's not very good treatment. He needs to be slowly withdrawn. He needs to be well nourished. He needs to be hydrated. He needs to have some nutritional help. And yet we despise heroin addicts. You know, we despise codeine addicts, but we don't despise Zoloft addicts or Prozac addicts, do we? Or Ritalin addicts.
It's totally acceptable.
Yeah, it's the legal drugs. My best example, and I could show you the molecular structures of cocaine next to Ritalin, and the brain doesn't tell a difference. There's subtle differences there. One's synthetic and one's natural, but the brain can't tell the difference between the two. Yeah. Cocaine addicts prefer Ritalin if they can get it in a snortable form. It's a longer acting. To get the same high, same quick high as cocaine, can't tell the difference. It lasts longer. So Ritalin is probably more dangerous than cocaine if you take it parenterally. Taking it by mouth, you know, you don't get this sudden high. It doesn't go to the brain fast that way as it was injected or smoked or snorted. But long term, the dangers are probably quite similar. And yet, cocaine, you go to jail if you're on cocaine.
But you can write me a prescription for Zoloft and won't be prosecuted?
Right.
All right. Thank you.